These are 5 great, phenomenal... What else you want to say? Just kidding. All right, just kidding. Hey, you looking for 5 great suburbs in Massachusetts? Check it out. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Swerk. You stumbled across our channel that talks everything with Massachusetts. I'm a local real estate expert, and we talk everything, whether it's eating, sleeping, drinking, playing, some of the best suburbs here in Massachusetts. We absolutely love all the interaction we get with the channel. You have lots of questions, we have lots of answers. Reach out to us anyway. What's really important is that definitely want to subscribe to the channel, click the bell so when we make new videos, you're going to get notified. And what's really important when it comes to Massachusetts, just remember, we've always got your back. All right, so we're doing something a little bit different. We are going to do kind of like a mini series of various suburbs of Massachusetts. Now, there's a lot of them, so if you're sitting down and you say, wait a second, like you just went over 5 of them, where's mine? Don't worry, we're going to put yours on there, right? You can reach out and put special requests in there. Like, we love all the interaction, and, you know, Tyler will put together this little playlist so you can go back to it and be like, what was that Canton, Massachusetts thing? Spoiler. Yeah. Spoiler. Yeah, I just gave it away. Canton, Massachusetts. I'm not going to go there first. So we have 4 more. So the first one we want to talk about is Westford. So Westford, it's definitely our real estate office is located here. So we definitely like to stick our flag in this part of the world. Westford's a really interesting community. When we pull data, we can only get so accurate as far as information. We get some census records that backed up a little bit. So we average, here in Westford about 24,000. We'll say 24,500. That's kind of that's my benchmark for today, right? It's definitely gone up over the past couple of years. We haven't had 5 million people move into town here. We average, let's just say 25,000, just round it off. This is definitely, it's interesting because some of most of the suburbs we pulled today, as we're looking through, there's a lot of white collar jobs are concerned. So here in Westford, there's 91% white collar, then 8 to 9% blue collar. The average income as far as Westford's concerned, just about 155,000, right in that range. So definitely a little bit higher as far as the community is concerned. Great school systems here. That's a big draw to this community. They're constantly fighting it out with a couple other communities as far as being #1 for the state. The other thing with Westford that's really great is that there's a couple chain restaurants here, but there's a lot of really great local restaurants and local mom and pop businesses. So that's really, really strong here. We got this awesome, I'll give them credit, the Soul Kitchen. There's this amazing Korean restaurant that's really close to us. Now that I mentioned that, I'm starting to think of all the other restaurants that are over there. Karma. I mean, there's a gazillion. We got good, oh my goodness, Diggy's Pizza, right? Like I just went Asian, American. So there's all kinds of great food here, and I'm not going to just sit here and start talking about food. It is lunchtime, so I'm going to get hungry. So the other thing that's great about Westford is the accessibility. So we always kind of, I like to give you my vision of what the maps look like, and so you're always going to see me do this. Not always, but we have Route 95, Route 495. They're kind of the beltways around Boston proper, and so Westford is right on Route 495, so pretty accessible. You can take that up to Route 3 to go north. You can take that down to Route 2 to cut across. You can go up a little bit further, get on 93, which is one of the main roads that runs through the city and through the state, just on this side of the world, depending on how you're looking at it and how Tyler flips this. So anyway, not going to park there. So those are some of the great things about Westford. I think some of the, some things that, what's a con? The price, right there, it's expensive to live here. Given the average income, you have very strong wages. So you have it's going to support the high cost of living. Taxes are going to be high here because of the great amenities. Something that's a little strange in this community is that I think it's like 99.9% on septic systems. So if you don't know what that is, Google that one and how it works. If you have no idea, I'm sorry, don't don't do that during lunchtime or dinner time, because what a gross concept. I'll skip the commentary as far as my stories. You want to hear goofy stories? Call me about septic systems. No, I'm just kidding. Don't call me. No, you can call me. I'm joking. So I'm not listen, I just can't get a million, I'm not a septic expert. So, I can tell you a couple of the problems. I can tell you how they work. I can tell you what happens when you flush the toilet. We're going to sidestep the rest of this conversation. Where are we going with this, Tyler? So, Tyler's got that look like, yeah, Matt, please move on. Let's go. All right, Hudson, Massachusetts. Another great community down on the 495 belt. As far as communities are concerned, they have just under 16,000 people. They have about 86% that's going to be white collar, so 14% is blue collar, and their average income is about $100,000 a year. So a little bit less than Westford. Further down as far as locations concerned, away from Boston. One of the great things about Hudson is they've really revitalized their community. Their downtown, they've done a lot as far as a facelift is concerned and making some changes there. So that's really helped as far as the economic development is concerned. This community is very active, great location, getting to, there's some great shopping centers there, very close to Rentham Outlets is one of the, I think this is called Tagger, is the big line that has all those outdoor shopping malls, we'll call them. I think they're all over the country. I don't think it's just local to us. So Hudson, awesome location, really been revitalized, over the past couple of years. The negative side about it is that inflation is creeping up, so prices are going up. Parking can be a little bit messy as far as in the downtown areas, so that's something you gotta be cautious of. And I would say that the school system has some room for growth and some improvement there. So that's something that Tyler's giving me the nod, like it's okay to say that. So we try to state the facts. We don't get into too much editorial stuff here, even though that's probably not true.
Well, it is a strong school system, but it's just like I think with where they want to go, I think they want to make it even stronger.
Yeah. Absolutely, right? So there you go. The man behind the mask, right? So pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That's a lie. Pay a ton of attention to Tyler. He's amazing. Okay, so that's Hudson, Massachusetts. Canton. Now, Canton I'm laughing about because I actually was just there over the weekend, and it's funny that we started to highlight this one because I got a guy I used to work with at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, so another random story that I'm not going to tell you. I was going to go knock on his door on Saturday. I haven't talked to him in years. I'm like, he's going to be like, Matt, who are you? Where'd you come from? So anyway, hey Corey. So Canton, Massachusetts, get about 24,000 people. Again, high, 88% is blue collar workers. So that's 88% is going to be the white collar, the fancy dancies. 12% is going to be the blue collar workers. The average income there is pretty high. It's 136,000. So Canton, another good location. It's a good location, however, it can be difficult to maneuver. And the reason being is it's directly south of Boston, well, kind of, south of Boston, and it is off of one of these other roads. I don't think I've ever talked about this one, but 24. So Route 24 kind of runs up through, and it runs parallel with 95 South. So that will, once you get on Route 24, pretty easy to get to. However, I guess I'll kind of start with some of the cons. The traffic can be a little maddening as far as where you're trying to get to, because everyone's trying to get to those major roads. And also, it's interesting because we've getting a lot of feedback that people love the fact that we touch upon New Hampshire and there's a lot to offer there. And that's one of the negatives there is that, I look at, kind of the Boston's the gateway to the North Shore and going up into northern New England, while being, probably 20-25 minutes south, that's going to add on to the commute and the travel time. So not the most accessible as far as getting up into northern New England. There is a amazing local brewer over there. You got Trillium, huge, fans of that place. Very, very quiet kind of community. It's definitely booming as far as the economy is concerned. And it's, again, only about 20 minutes from Boston, so it's pretty easy to get in and out of. So Canton, I have a lot of personal connections to Canton. I'm not going to waste time talking about them now. You want to go have a beer over, go have a Trillium, let's set up an appointment, go have a drink. So, oh my gosh, I'm throwing out appointments for drinks. Yeah. This is a PG channel. So anyway, you can have a drink, it's just going to be, over the age of, I was going to say 18, but
Children are allowed in Trillium. They have a restaurant too, so.
yeah, there you go. There you go. So just don't be sneaking your kids any drink. Anyway, so where are we going? Let's get back on track. So, all right. So here's another one that's, this is like, you want to talk suburbs. I mean, this is burbs, right? I'm in that burb. I mean, it's far away. So, and I'll say the burb being a little cold too, right? Because now we're going out to Western Massachusetts where everything is different there. So, I got to be cautious here because a lot of our Westernites get upset because they're like, you don't give us the love that we deserve, and we love you. You know, we got Springfield, right? Basketball Hall of Fame, Big E. All right, anyway. So Amherst, New Hampshire. So University of Massachusetts out at Amherst. Definitely a great college out there as part of the UMass system. Amherst is, it's a pretty big place. You know, you have just under 26,000 people there. And again, it was funny because as Tyler and I were talking about that community, you know, there's a lot of white collar workers out there, and you're like, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Why? Well, there's great healthcare out there. There's a lot of great jobs in Massachusetts. Doesn't have to be just in Boston proper. It's across the state. So you have 91% of that community is a white collar worker. So 9 people. There's only 9 people doing labor work. There's 9% of the population that's doing the blue collar work. And this is interesting. Their wages, average wage, household income is only about $88,000. So that was interesting. You know, looking at that. But their economy is pretty strong. You know, again, that's one of the major areas out there. So you have great shopping, and you know, like I said, the university is awesome. There's a very dense population there, and it's the highest population out in Hampshire County as far as towns are concerned. So you're starting to get out towards the Berkshires, which is a whole nother world, just an amazing, beautiful place as far as Massachusetts is concerned, where, you know, I never really spent a lot of time out there because I was in this part of the state. Well, again, depending on where the map was, but if we're here, Western Mass is that way. Anyway, not going to think about perspective now. So Tyler will put a map in there and show you what I'm talking about. That saves all the strange hand motions. I'm like, Tyler, just block it out with the map, right? Highlight it there. Air traffic controller, which way are you going? Just don't go this way at the same time. So what are some of the cons about, you know, being out in Amherst? It's far away from far away from Massachusetts. Seems that way. It's far from Boston, right? Far from those big amenities. If you want to even go near Boston, I mean, a lot of people that want to be in Western Mass want to be away from people. You know, or kind of the hustle and the grind. So that's a big thing. For me, one of the other things that would be tough for me living out there is it's really far away from the ocean, right? So I have this whole thing about fried clams that I slip in on every video is not just because of the seafood, it's because of the ocean, right? And how beautiful it is and how lucky we are to live in a state that's right on the water and has the entire, you know, the coastline there. So that's just awesome. And then the other thing too is that, you know, it's definitely a little bit slower out there. That is one of the major highlights when we get into foliage season, which just seems like such a strange thing. So we're very lucky that we have the change of seasons. We call them leaf peepers, right? So when the leaf peepers come in and they want to drive all over the state of Massachusetts and New Hampshire and Vermont to see different colors, hey, but that gets you excited? Awesome. It is pretty. It's very interesting. There is a whole, I don't want to say a system behind it, but there's definitely a schedule, and if you catch that wrong schedule and you get here at the wrong time and there's no rhyme or reason to it, you know, it depends on the days, and that's really what it is, right? You want the quick background on what makes the leaves change. It's the warm days, the cold nights, and if we don't have that perfect blend or it happens too fast, like you could blink and all of a sudden the leaves are on the ground and you're like, where did all the pretty leaves go? And you know, I'm not picking on saying the leaf peepers. We like the pretty leaves too. It's a weird thing, right? The leaves. Not everybody had it on it. So anyway, we'll slide off of that. So Amherst, that's a really cool place. Now the last one that we're going to bring up is going to be Holliston. Now remember, if we didn't bring it up, we're going to talk about it. These are not the only 5 communities. We just happen to say, hey, let's grab these. So Holliston, Massachusetts. When I think Holliston, immediately I think about the Boston Marathon, because it kind of runs out in that whole area, you know, and that's that's as a kid, like I heard about, I'm like, the marathon starts so far away, and I'm like, I'm not a runner, so I was never into it. Yes, I was get excited about, you know, not having to go to school, but anyway, and the Red Sox opening day, which, full disclosure, I have never gone to opening day for the Red Sox. I have not gone to the Boston Marathon. I don't really know if I ever would. Listen, to go out and do that, absolutely amazing. But I'm not a runner, so when people get excited, like, well, you just get to that point in time where you start going crazy and like you push through it. Into my mind, I'm like, yeah, I would start going crazy, like my legs would fall off and I'd start throwing up all over the place. And people are like, what are you doing? Why'd you do this? I'm like, it's only my first half of a step on the marathon. Like I shouldn't even be here. So anyway, I'm just enough about that. So Holliston, Massachusetts, what's this community all about? A little bit smaller, about 15,000 people that are there. Again, in all these communities, a high percentage of high percentage of white collar workers. I'm going sideways mentally. We got to stay on track here. Finish up this video. So they have, there's 88% white collar there, means 12% blue collar, and the average income pretty high. It's about 166,000. So we actually had an out-of-state client that came through on the channel that was looking at some new construction over in Holliston. Really, really nice houses. So I think when you look at Holliston, it's very underrated because it's not, that name just doesn't pop up as far as like, oh, I want to go to Holliston, right? However, it's really good for the location, being on the South Shore, and I'm going to be cautious here because I could confuse people, because here I go again with the maps. So like that little hook of the Cape, this is kind of South Shore from like where Plymouth is going up towards Quincy. That's what I consider South Shore. Then you have the South Coast, which is kind of below that. But from I'm sorry, again, my perception is a little bit different. Almost anything below Route 90, which cuts across the state, I'm like, that's kind of south, right? So, and that's just that's one random guy's thought process of what that looks like. So I look at that South Shore, even though it's technically not South Shore. But it's a great location as far as getting to the Cape, getting in towards Boston, going out to Worcester. You want to go to Rhode Island, I mean, Connecticut, New York, going that way. So it is a really good location. The school system is very strong. The infrastructure is very strong there. It's a very, very safe community as far as the being rated, as far, I guess we'll say, lack of crime. And just really, really gorgeous suburban lifestyle. So definitely check that, definitely check that one out as far as some of the things you might like. What are the things we don't like? Yes, as a real estate agent, I can spend your money all day long. I don't want to do that, right? I want to keep the cash in your pocket. Unless you're selling, then I want to get as much cash in your pocket. However, the real estate market is expensive there. So, it's, again, for that area, it is a strong economy. However, it's not like one of the big dogs as far as some of the other communities there. So some people might look down upon the fact that they're not as strong as far as their, the economy is concerned. And again, because of the price points, that's another community that could be a little intimidating as far as getting in there. Can you run with those dogs that are pulling in 166,000 a year to support those price points? So it's definitely, Holliston's a really interesting place. So I think out of all these places I brought up today, like I would say the one I'm most intrigued by, which means that you might not be intrigued by, is going to be Holliston, just because I've gotten more and more exposure to that community over the years, and it's just a great place. All right, like I said, just 5 suburbs of Massachusetts, no rhyme or reason. We just happen to pick them. We're going to do more. If you want, we love getting that feedback that comes in. Sometimes my feelings get hurt with some of the comments, but I'll get over it. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I'm a big boy. Throw it out here. We love putting ourselves out there and just having a lot of fun with this channel. So we appreciate you watching. You're looking to relocate. You're looking to move here, which is kind of the same thing, or rent, or just want to check out someplace. Definitely give us a call. You have tons of questions. We have tons of answers. We love what we do. And just remember, when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back.